Alright, so we're Team Gardyn, and essentially what our idea was to make kind of a spark notes for Gardyn. So if you want to start a vegetable garden, this would give you the information that you need to know to start that. The inspiration was, over the summer, I was actually having some bruschetta, and the tomatoes were really good, and it inspired me to grow my own tomatoes. So I started doing research, and I didn't find any one website that really gave me all the information that I needed to know to start. There were some sites that gave me a ton of information about like soil acidity, and it was almost too much, and then some gave too little. So this was really to strike the balance of just what you need to know to get started. So basically, you go in, get plants, go to flipping, pretty slow. Alright, there we go. Sorry about the home bar, it's kind of taking up a lot of space, so I'll try it in full screen, but here it is. So you see that like there's all different types of stuff you can grow. So like I said, I wanted to grow tomatoes, so you just click tomatoes. Here it is. So it has like information about like what type of climate it prefers, how much sun it to get, how much spacing it needs, whether it needs support, and the growing period. And some additional information down here. And I'll hand it over to Owen to talk more about some of the technologies that we use.
Yeah, we used MERNstack. We felt like Mongo would be really flexible as we expand the site. One of the things that we talked about early on was how are we going to handle new information. We thought about a wiki model, and we like that because it allows us to encompass more of the huge number of plants that are out there. So if you come down here, you can click this Add More button. Really slow internet tonight, but there we go. So you can come in and say, okay, I want to suggest a new plant. We're going to suggest, what did we say, green beans? Yeah. Green beans. We had a photo pull out, didn't we? Alright, so come over and get the URL for a green bean photo. I'm a math person. So then you can pick out climate it's going to be, information about sunlight, whatever you want to enter. Most of these are not required, so you can kind of enter as much or as little information as you want. You like it to give it difficulty so it can be organized better. Then you can submit. And you can do the same thing for guides. You can also suggest a new guide and enter title, photo, and write a little description. So that would be more general category within plants. One of our concerns with the wiki model, though, was that the quality control. So all of our things, instead of going directly onto the site, go into a kind of a pending status. And if you're an admin, you can go into the admin panel and you can decide which one approves. So if somebody approves something that's not really helpful to the site, you can just delete it. Or if it looks like it might be helpful, you can say, okay, that sounds interesting, let's go read about that. And say, oh, this guide looks alright. And then you can accept it. And then it now shows up on the site right there. We also did a super simple, bare bones React Native version. Oh gosh, we're all zoomed in here.
Let's see if we can find the screen. Scroll to the side. Zoom out. Oh, there we go. No.
So we put most of our energy into the web app version because that was our main focus. But we wanted to do a little bare bones React Native just so we could play around with it. So you can get the same information if you want to take it with you to Lowe's or Big Bloomers where you get your plants. And have that information easily accessible to you. And now you want to talk about implementation?
You can go back. Yeah, sure. Alright, so
So as of now, you can just browse the site and not have to worry about logging in. However, if you want to log in, you just log in like you just did. Authenticate.
What is it?
Uh,
There we go.
So yeah, so if you log in now, then you can continue to the site by clicking plans or guides. You can do the same thing. And then when you're done, you can log out. So don't stay logged in right now. And then show you the sort, I guess.
Yeah. So the little banners on each plant represent the difficulty, with green being easy, yellow intermediate, and red is hard, expert. And we have a basic sorting method, I guess. So if you want to see like beginner first, you can see all the green plants. If you want to stick to beginner plants, or if you want to challenge, you can do the hard ones. And what's kind of cool is that this sorting algorithm that was used, below the surface, it's actually using one of the ones that we learned, which was orange short. So, cool little tidbit of information. Yeah, defaults just alphabetically. You want to talk about this?
So, doing research, the bulk of our research was actually done by me. And so, most of the information has come from all sorts of different websites, from some Greenfinger, Farmers Almanac, and then I went to my local Home Depot and talked to one of the gardeners there about how to keep healthy soil. And so, yeah, pretty much all these plants here were information that I gathered. And something nice about the way our data is displayed is that some of these are just normal plants. Like if you click on a plant, it'll go directly to the guide. And so, but some other ones are done in categories. And so we had a really nice little recursive display where if it was a category, it'll redisplay the cards before going into the actual plant. And so all this is seeded in our Mongo database using the Mongoose package. And so when you suggest a plant, right now it's just plant, but for the actual categories, it's seeded a little differently, where it starts as a category and then the individual plants are inside an array. So that.
I think definitely like the whole goal with this was just to figure out how you can present information in the most accessible way possible. And part of what people like sites like Wikipedia and IMDb is that it's like a very standardized format, and they can go to it and immediately find exactly what they want from any given article. So definitely we did some work. I think the original version that we had was like very text heavy, and we got a lot of great ways to distill it down to symbols instead, so you could just see it really quickly. And definitely if we have more time, I think we can go even further with making it, figuring out exactly what information people need to grow plants and distilling it down to the most accessible format.
I think for me, as far as the authentication route, being able to disable users who aren't logged in from creating new plans or guides, that way we don't have to worry about unnecessary stuff coming in unless somebody's actually logged in. So that's another step for the next version.
Are there any questions?
How did the tomatoes turn out?
Yeah.
The next one they're going to be better.
Yeah. I didn't have this.
All right.